Good morning. Welcome all of you to this session on IIBA certifications. My name is LN. It stands for Lakshmi Narayan, but just for the ease of use, I make it LN. I will be the faculty for the subsequent sessions. I trust some of you have joined for ECBA, some of you have joined for CBAP. So you will have different sessions based on the certification that you have chosen. Before I begin, would you like to ask me any question, or we have a short introduction of each other, and then we will continue with the workshop. Okay. So let me give my introduction first. As I said, my name is LN Mishra. I have been a practicing BA for now close to 25 years. I started my career as an electronics and telecommunication test engineer, and then I kind of veered into business analysis by accident. How did it happen is something very interesting. Maybe some of you may relate. I was actually consulting a client to improve their revenue once I completed my master's in management program. And that time I observed something interesting. I observed that for some category of customers, we were recovering good amount of money, and for some, we were not. Then when I did kind of a root cause analysis, although I did not know the name then, I found that for certain category of customers, we have automated billing, and for certain kind of customers, we don't have automated billing. I did not know programming, but fortunately, I had a friend in the division who knew programming, and the programming language was Fox Pro. I don't know how many of you would have seen that product. It's a very old product, but fantastic product. So I asked this friend of mine saying, hey, can you help me to write a program to automate the billing for certain categories? He said, do you know the rules? I said, yes, I can explain you the rules. And then he said, then I can program. So we two kind of sat on the weekends and we wrote this program together, and we automated the remaining category of customers. When we did that, our revenue in a month almost jumped by 40%. Because what was happening before is that we were simply not able to invoice our customers. We had large number of customers, something like 12,000 or so, and we had about 10 people doing all the billing every month, and they couldn't create so many bills manually. And then I realized that, hey, software seems to be very powerful, and I was not a very software friendly person till then, but then I realized that software can make a lot of difference. And that's how I developed interest in business analysis. And I became a formal business analyst probably in 1998. And I have been continuing my business analysis career from then. I am associated with Adaptive for close to last 12 years now. I'm one of the principals, and I'm also one of the key trainers and authors in Adaptive. Tony, go ahead and give me a good definition for the term called business.
Business in terms of business analysis?
No. Just plain business. We'll go to business analysis later. We are all doing business. At least the companies that we work, they're into business. True. So what is business?
I don't know. That seems ambiguous.
Okay, no problem. Sneha, how would you define business?
At least in one perspective, business could be something that provides a solution for customer needs based on a particular model.
Provides a solution to customer needs. Very good. I agree. Pretty good definition. Okay. Let me collect and then I'll question your assumption. Suppose there is a person who is very poor, and there is a charitable organization which provides a solution to that person, like say food when you don't have food, or a shelter when you don't have shelter. Will we call that charitable organization as business?
No, I think you need a revenue, something that.
Yeah. Something that gives you money.
Okay. Does it mean charitable
I think
organizations?
I think it's still based on a business model, but I mean, it is an organization, or it is I don't know if it's, I think it depends on the revenue that you make.
Will charitable organizations not take any money?
They do, but they
Takes money.
No, they can take some money from people as well.
I think charity is business, is also business.
Oh, okay.
Why? Because charity has some processes, and they must earn some money.
True.
Or get some money to do something. That is why it's charity is a business too, and they have some processes.
Okay.
I don't know which processes.
Don't worry. Okay. Ran, how would you define business?
I would say maybe a transaction between either customers or organizations.
Okay, transactions between organization and customer. Okay, very good. Kaim, how would you define a business?
Business is something that gives you money.
Okay. Something that gives you money. Okay. Very good. I think all of you are getting there, but maybe we are missing the exact definition. Okay. If I just add this to this sentence with a profit motive, how does it look?
Yeah.
Does it look good now?
Yeah.
Okay. Tony, does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So
if there is no profit, then it's not considered as business.
Yes, Laila. If you do not have a profit motive, then you are not running a business organization. You are running a charitable organization. Okay. So in the sense, what I would suggest, I think this is a very common misnomer that business is like this, business is like that. And will the charitable organizations have processes? Yes, of course they have. Will it be quite similar to other businesses? Again, yes. But the main difference is they should not be run. Whether they're actually run with a profit motive or without a profit motive, we cannot tell. Even there could be smart people who could be running a charitable organization, a business organization, in the name of a charitable organization. There are smart people who do that. Okay, so we are not going to get into that. So please remember this. Organizations can be classified into two main categories. So one category is business organizations, and the other ones are charitable organizations. Sorry. Can I request all of you to be on mute, please? Okay, thank you. Does it make sense now, folks? Okay. Since both business organizations and charitable organizations are organizations, there are things which are related to an organization. Say, for example, at an organization level, you have processes, you could have policies, you could have processes, you could have tools. It doesn't matter whether you are a charitable organization or a business organization. They all, they will have people. Everything can exist as part of being an organization, but business organizations have to focus on generating profit. Okay, so this is something which a business organization is very keen on. Okay, I hope now I explained what is business to you. Now let's understand this second term, which is called analysis. Okay, so again we'll start with Kaim on the top. Kaim, what does analysis mean to you? Kaim? Hello, Kaim. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I would say research.
Okay, research. What else?
Finding the needs.
Finding the need. Okay, good. Laila, what does analysis mean to you? Hello, Laila. Okay, maybe I'm not hearing her. Okay.
Hello. Okay, I'm here. Analysis, how we said, if the organization have policies, processes, tools, and other issues, analysis to learn them, to research them, and to make some solution.
Okay, so you mean to say you can analyze processes? Is that what you meant to say? But I'm asking you, what is analysis?
What is analysis? To learn the processes.
Okay, very good. Noises.
To learn the processes and the needs.
Noises. Okay, we'll discuss. Yeah.
At the end, you can give them what is okay.
No worries, no worries.
Okay.
Ran, how would you define analysis?
I would say deciphering large amounts of data.
Okay, that's a very interesting definition. Deciphering large amount of data. Can you decipher anything other than data?
Yeah, of course. Different processes, like that was said. I guess deciphering all types of information more specifically.
Very good. Okay, Sneha.
I think I agree with everything that the others have said, but analysis is basically, deep diving into the data that you have or everything that you have within an organization, figuring out the need and kind of helping to define a solution.
Very good. Okay. Tony?
I would maybe add to that, defining structure and workflows.
Okay. Okay, very good. I think all of you are kind of getting it quite well. Defining structure, flow, any aspect. Okay. In fact, I would kind of modify this particular definition, and this is what I usually say. Analysis is getting deeper into something. It's primarily related to breaking things down, understanding it in greater detail. Why should we analyze? Tony, what's the need to analyze?
You can, identify problems, identify areas for improvement, understand like why why you're doing what you're doing.
Very good. Analysis helps us to get clarity. Why something is happening? Why is it taking so much time? How can I improve my process? How can I increase my revenue? How can I decrease my cost? These are all the questions that can be answered using analysis. Okay, good. So now the great term called BABOK. What is BABOK? Kaim, did you have a look at BABOK?
Yes.
Okay, how did you like it? Did you understand anything out of it?
Not really, but yeah, I hope I will after the lectures.
Okay, how many of you have gone through BABOK at this point in time?
I have.
This is Tony. I've reviewed it.
Okay, very good. So what has been your first impression about BABOK? Tony?
My first impression has been that it's good. It's a very formal way of looking at. It's a very structured process to business analysis, which is good. But it doesn't always fit. You know, I've done business analysis in 3 different companies in that role, and it's been different everywhere I've gone. So it's almost like I can see elements of what I've done already that fit that, and then there's some things that are more formal that didn't fit kind of the business structure or the company structure of how I did it. But it's a good guide of like a formal structure to the whole process.
Very good. I will tell you a very interesting experience. One of my participants had come from this African country. I'm forgetting, it is Sudan or something. And this gentleman had a very interesting experience with BABOK. So he told me, LN, the night I do not get sleep, I read BABOK. Which means what? You will get very nice sleep if you read BABOK. Okay, so from that perspective, and I'm talking about BABOK V2, which was a much smaller document. How big is BABOK V3? How many pages? 500 pages of dense documentation. Okay, so my request at this point in time, stop reading BABOK. Do not read BABOK now. Okay, then when should you read BABOK? After the training. Trust me, once we go through the process, BABOK will start making a lot more sense to you. I trust I would have explained the terms which BABOK uses and how do you relate it to your day-to-day work. That will be much more easier to read BABOK compared to trying to read BABOK on your own. So don't make that effort at this point in time. Good. So now if we see BABOK, what does it describe? Some of you have read BABOK. Laila, did you read BABOK? What does it try to explain?
I tried to read, but it is very difficult.
Very difficult,
That's
okay.
why I quit.
Okay, no problem. Whoever read somewhat deeper into BABOK, at least 200 to 250 pages you have read, what is it that it is trying to describe?
Personally, for me, BABOK is like a framework that I use as a reference point when doing a particular task, for example, strategy analysis or during requirements elicitation. It kind of gives you like the framework of what you must do, not in too much detail, but it at least gives you the pointers on what you should remember to cover on a very high level. That's what BABOK is for me personally.
Okay. For that framework, it should be 5 pages or 10 pages, not 500 pages. Okay, not to demean BABOK, I'm not saying that. I love BABOK as well. Okay, but when we talk of BABOK and talk of business analysis, what kind of analysis it is talking about? What is it that we are trying to analyze? Are we trying to analyze data?
No, business processes.
Okay, Tony says Babcock describes ways to analyze business processes. Okay, anything else?
Requirements.
Who was that?
Leila.
Okay, Leila is, yes, actually, yes, Babcock is a guidebook for understanding business requirements in detail. Okay, and since we have talked about a term called requirements, there is also an associated term called need. What is need? Is it same as requirement or different?
Something which you want.
Isn't requirement is something that you want? I can always say, I require this to happen, or I require a BMW car, or I need a BMW car, I don't know. Okay. So how is this different from each other?
Maybe
requirement is
go ahead, Leila.
Requirements are more detailed, but need it's just for example to increase the profit. It's need. But how and in which frame it's requirements.
Okay, no problem. Tony, anything comes to your mind?
I think maybe a need is more specific to being necessary for business to function, as opposed to a requirement, which could be anything from an enhancement, a nice to have thing, way to make it easier, whereas a need is required to perform your business function.
Okay, let me give the definition from Babcock. A requirement is a specified need. Okay, think in this way, very simple terms. You are hungry. So your need is to have food. Okay, you go to 7-Eleven store and you tell, I need a sandwich. That's a requirement. Okay, so as long as you don't specify, it's still, the need can exist, but others cannot work on it because you haven't specified. So sometimes a need may be kind of latent. That means it's there, but people don't recognize it. And companies which can recognize such latent need can come up with products which are superstar products. Say, for example, we had this great example of Sony Walkman. Sony as a company recognized that people may like to carry music with them. And that is how they came up with this product called Walkman, which you could carry with you. And it became a blockbuster hit. But mostly in our context, we are looking at a business requirement, and a business requirement can be fulfilled in some way. So most of the BAs work in what kind of requirement? Is it a requirement to build a new product, build a new software? Where do business analysts, most of us, work? What is your background? I think most of you come from what background? Is it construction? Is it IT? Is it hospitality? What kind of background do you guys come from?
Mine is IT. I come from IT.
Most of you come from IT. Okay, so Babcock actually deals with IT requirements. That is why I told Kaim that, of course, up to the CCBA level, it is a little easier to understand what we are trying to say. For CBAP, the focus on IT requirements is a lot more. which I trust they will reduce over time. That's what is my personal belief. If you are calling something as a business analysis standard, it cannot be only for IT industry, but maybe that's a long call. It may take time. Okay. So at this point in time, maybe I'll spend another 5-7 minutes just explaining you the platform, and I trust all of you have looked at the platform. How many of you kind of now know what is there in Succeed for you? All of you are, you have been logged into Succeed at least a couple of times?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, all of you say yes. So let me tell you things that might be helpful from how to use Succeed effectively. So the part that you see in study guides called workshop materials, this is very, very helpful from the exam point of view. This is a must. Okay. Reference materials are something that you can read, but later part. Here there is something called exam prep help. So some of it are more preparatory material. They are not kind of part of exam scheme, but they will help you to kind of go to the exam scheme. CBAP certification tips is of course helpful for all those who are going for CBAP. And in the bottom part, if you see, there is this document called Business Analysis Workbook, which is something very interesting, and especially for you, Kaim, because you do not come from IT background. I would recommend this particular book to you. I mean, it is recommended for everybody, but more for you. In this book, what we have done, we basically have created a structure. I'll just show you how it looks. It's there, Business Analysis Workbook. Let me open it from my desktop. One second. Workbook. Okay. So this is basically a blank workbook. It has a lot of spaces for you to write down with your pencil, whatever you like. Okay. So if you just go down, I'll quickly scroll down. So you go to any area, say for example, requirements lifecycle management. You'll see only blank tables. Okay. So once you go through the training, please try filling in as much as you can without looking at, of course, Babok or our study guide. Okay. So when you do that, it kind of imprints in your mind. Ran, am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a document that I would request all of you to take a print, have it with you. And as you complete a chapter, maybe you want to write down a few things. During the training, you want to take notes. This is again a fantastic place to take notes. If you have the hard copy with you, you can take notes there as well. Otherwise, you can use this as a reference for your own notes. And trust me, whatever you write, it is 10 times more effective than reading. So you may read something 5 times, but if you write it once, it is going to be with you for much longer duration. Okay, so this is one strong request from me. Okay, then back to our portal. As we go through the portal, maybe I will tell you to kind of go through a few other things. There is a very nice glossary book, but that I would request you to read maybe after 2 or 3 classes. By that time, most of the glossary would be clear to you. If something is not clear, you can ask me. I have to organize this material a little better. I understand. I'll get it done. Don't worry. Then, of course, there is a whole set of questions. And my request to you would be, as we complete a particular knowledge area, please take the tests associated with that knowledge area, except for case-based questions, which we will come later. So if you see here, there are fundamental questions, competency-based questions. These questions, you can take it immediately after the particular session is over. So that will give you an idea that am I getting the concepts right? If not, you can ask in the program.